graceful, deceptive, cautious. A cast of alien characters live out their lives in a world where lightning reflexes, a mastery of disguise, and the art of self-defense ensure survival. Yet this is not science fiction nor creatures from light years away, but a world within our world, teeming with inhabitants as weird as any we might expect from another planet. To underwater photographers, they are affectionately known as critters. The island arc of Indonesia, joining Asia and Australia, is the meeting place for the waters of two oceans, the Indian and the Pacific. At the heart of this marine paradise is Sulawesi, the epicenter of marine biodiversity. Here, in this inaccessible world, evolution has run riot. The rich, warm waters have been the cradle for some of planet Earth's richest marine life, where imagination is surpassed by the inventiveness of nature. The numerous inlets and bays, headlands and islands are magnets drawing scientists and divers from around the world. Yet even in these well-searched waters, there are still surprises, and nowhere more so than below the busy waters that form the narrow strait of Lembeh. Swift currents sweep through the straits, and the first appearance is of a desolate and lifeless lunar landscape, an algae-strewn seabed where tufts are wafted to and fro by the movement of the water. Yet all is not what it seems. Hidden within the perfect camouflage of the lifeless green cotton wool algae, concealed from predators, ambon scorpionfish take full advantage of the open volcanic sand. With fins developed into fingered hands, a pair stumble in search of food, drifting like seaweed. But seaweed with a bite, a cavernous mouth ready to suck in any passing prey. To stay on the bottom rather than swim in mid-water is one strategy for survival. And for many of the fish of Lembeh, walking is the best means of getting around. They rarely swim. Another tactic for survival is that they grow long filaments of algae on their bodies to blend in with their surroundings. Even crabs have adopted this technique of survival. With long arms extended, this hairy red orangutan crab swings from the coral like its jungle namesake. By day, with the addition of bits of algae and other debris, the camouflage becomes complete. Its red coloring makes it almost invisible at night, when red is the first color of the spectrum to disappear. Even seahorses take on a hairy coat for protection. But the seahorse's first line of defense is to remain absolutely still. Anchored by its tail, the perfect little chess piece is intent that its shyness will save it from discovery. Retiring nature isn't its only strategy as it roams the undersea plains of Lembeh. If caught in the open, its last resort is a body covered in bony armor. Like spectral starships searching for a landing site, the weird ghost pipefish resort to mimicry for their survival. Snout down, they hover just above the sand surface, ready to hoover up the tiny animals that are their food. Hanging in the current, a pair are wafted back and forth like blades of seagrass. Algae is only part of the cockatoo waspfish's cover story. Mimicry of a dead leaf is a preferred survival ploy. Are there 2 or 3 fish in that clump? Or are they just leaves blown in from the nearby land? In a barren landscape, a leaf can be a lifesaver, and none are wasted. A decorator crab converts a pile of dead leaves into perfect camouflage. If you must risk all by roving across the open sea floor, what better way than disguise as a clump of leaf litter? Other bits of the seabed just seem to get up and walk away. While many creatures beneath this busy shipping channel rely on disguise for their defense, others roam the barren bottom of the strait with attitude. A spiny skin is all that the cruising starfish needs as it skims the surface in search of its prey. With barely a ripple to mark its passing, the asteroid star hovers on a carpet of tiny feet, each a tube tipped by a sucker for grip and strength. The ghost pipefish strays from its home on the reef to hunt over the undersea plain. Perhaps its spiky appearance gives it protection. A flash of bright colors sometimes does the trick, but this spiny devilfish leaves nothing to chance. The highly colored pectoral and tail fins are a stern warning to keep away, or else. Hidden amongst that camouflage are venom-tipped spines. For bottom-living fish, most threats come from above. So a long spine on the back or a spiky dorsal fin give them the protection they need and the confidence to move across the open sea bed. The delightful and rare sea moth relies on armored skin and concealment to protect it from predators. Able to change shades, it blends perfectly with the broken shells and gravel over which it hunts for food. Seldom straying far, a pair will remain together for life and may be found in the same spot year after year. Like a battle tank, the slipper lobster lumbers along protected by its armor. When threatened, its flattened, streamlined shape is perfect for shoveling beneath the sand. Needle-sharp spikes are the ultimate deterrent, but not just for the sea urchin. Young fish also find sanctuary among the bristling spines. And if your own armor isn't enough, then why not borrow someone else's? A spiny urchin makes a perfect bodyguard for the carrier crab. The fisherman, heading home after a day's fishing on the reef, pays little attention to what he thinks is the barren seafloor of the Strait. Yet directly below him is one of the weirdest and cleverest of the inhabitants of this inner space, the flamboyant cuttlefish. Unique amongst the cuttles, it prefers to walk when stalking its prey, but can use jet propulsion for a quick getaway. Pulsating with color, its communications cross language barriers as it flees an enemy or approaches prey. Superbly adapted to this other world, it is alien in many ways. With colors toned down, it assumes the familiar, harmless clump of algae look at the final approach, dealing death to its victim with laser-like precision and speed. Appearances can be very deceptive. But it's not all hiding and deceit on the seabed. The gloriously colored nudibranchs go out of their way to announce themselves. Perhaps the most colorful animals in the area, these soft, succulent, slow-moving sea slugs ought to be an easy mouthful for many other animals. Amongst the colors of the reef, their patterns help them to blend and disappear. On the sand, they are a blatant advertisement that repels rather than attracts. The bright colors broadcast the fact that all of them exude chemicals which leave a very nasty taste in the mouth of any predator. This chemical defense system is especially useful when you carry delicate feather-like gills exposed on the outside of your body. For some, acid is the chosen weapon, while others produce toxins so powerful that one sea slug can kill a bucketful of crabs or fish in an hour. Weaponry is also the main defense of other soft-bodied creatures. Anemones emerge from hiding in the sand to gather food, armed with thousands of stinging barbs. The tentacles are used for both attack and protection. For the shrimps that can live among the venomous tentacles, an impregnable haven. Delicate, long-legged ballerinas, the fragile shrimps seem to go out of their way to show off. Many of these vibrant creatures live by soliciting fish for a cleanup. The tail-wagging motion of these anemone shrimps is a real come-on for passing fish. The shrimp's reward? It gets to eat the parasites, loose scales, and other body debris of its willing host. Most cleaners advertise with their long, stripy arms, but others use obvious body markings. The tail-wagging, hip-swinging movements have earned this the most uncrustacean-like name of sexy shrimp. For the hinge-beaked shrimp, it is safety in numbers that affords protection. With so many others in the same swarm, it is less likely that you are going to be the one that gets picked out for a meal. Like a barbed wire entanglement, the fronds of a hydroid offer a safe hunting ground for a pair of spider crabs. The protection gained by the almost perfect blend of these creatures onto their host is further enhanced by the stinging cells of the hydroid, a relative of jellyfish and anemones. In this world of strange creatures, it seems no surface is safe for a colonist. Even the skin of a foraging sea cucumber provides a landscape of its own where every valley or spiny-tipped hill is part of the territory for the emperor shrimp searching for its next meal, the waste from its host. Look for the eyes in the sand is good advice for prey and predator alike. All flatfish start life as normal-shaped fish, but one eye migrates across the head. The fish becomes two-dimensional. In a flurry of distracting sand, the soul disappears before your very eyes. Where sand and sea meet is a semi-liquid world, a hiding place for some, a hunting ground for others. the banded snake eel makes easy work of burrowing into the sediment. Just a few twists of its sinuous body drive the eel beneath the sand to safety. The wonderpuss is an expert in disguise, resorting to mimicry when leaving the soft substrate for open sand. Its stripes resemble those of a venomous sea snake or toxic lionfish. Even the heavily armored spanner crab doesn't put all its trust in wrench-like pincers and thick shell. When an enemy approaches, it makes for cover and sinks beneath the sand, leaving only its snorkel-like breathing tube and stalked eyes in contact with the world above. The snake eel hunts by night. By day, irises closed to a slit against the daylight glare, they too bury themselves with only the head above the sand to maintain a flow of water over the gills. Changing sex and color as it grows older, a juvenile ribbon eel shares a burrow with a blue adult male. As the eel becomes female, it turns greenish yellow. But not all the inhabitants of the substrate live in such harmony. A couple of oriental snake eels fight out a dispute over territory. What makes this patch of seabed worth the battle is known only to them. The keen-eyed mantis shrimp checks out the area for threats before dumping its load of sand. Burrowers are at home amongst the sediment, but the price paid for security is a never-ending struggle to keep the burrow clear of rubble. The spiny arms of this mantis are perfectly designed for holding debris or as formidable weapons to impale its prey. When it faces a threat, the mantis retreats into its burrow, a perfectly smooth tube of up to half a meter deep. Nearby, the gobies gather debris in their mouths, working hard to clear their burrows. Others have a more relaxed lifestyle and leave the hard work to their shrimp partner. This is a symbiotic relationship. Two totally different species share the same living space, each gaining benefit from the association. Shrimps keep the burrow clean and tidy, working away knowing that they are safe from predators. The goby is the eyes of the partnership, standing guard at the burrow entrance. With the coast clear, an octopus emerges. Horizontally slit pupils cut down daylight glare, while at the same time allowing a wide field of view. Abandoned shells provide safe houses, places from which critters can check out the surrounding seabed, an opportunity not overlooked by a small and vulnerable blenny. But taking the shell with you is the ideal answer for the hermit crab. No object on the seabed remains empty for long. coconut shell is the perfect retreat for the pufferfish. Not that it needs anything more than its inflated body and spiny skin for protection. For a small octopus in search of a hiding place, no leaf is left unturned. While a tuft of algae is a great vantage point for the watchful. And if all else fails, then why not take to the bottle? In this inhospitable world, no survival strategy is overlooked. Camouflage and disguise deceive. Burrowing and sinking in the sand take you out of sight. Warning colors and venomous spines keep enemies at bay. Even man's debris can be brought into play in the constant struggle between predator and prey. A discarded paint tin is just one of the man-made objects favored by Lembeh's strangest inhabitant, the frogfish. Waving only its lure, it remains absolutely still, waiting to attract a passing fish within killing distance. Each species of frogfish uses a lure in a different way. Some mimic the jerking movements of swimming worms, others small circling fish. Also known as anglers, they fish for other fish, and if their bait is taken and the lure bitten off, they soon grow a replacement. Their strategy is a simple one. Their prey comes to them. When a likely fish comes within range, the cavernous mouth opens, creating a vacuum which sucks the victim in with lightning speed. Perfectly camouflaged as lumps of coral, weed, or sponge, most passing fish are blissfully unaware of the danger that lurks close by. But even the frogfish know their limits. Some are only the size of a human thumb, while others may be as large as a football. If you're a small fish, all of them are lethal. But even the frogfish can run out of patience and can't wait forever for its prey. Stirring from its stillness, the fish moves to a new site by slowly crawling on feet-like fins through the rocks and sponges. In the open, it is as vulnerable as any other animal and takes to swimming. The siphon-like tubes through which it exhales can clearly be seen. Any movement of gills when the frogfish breathes would betray its whereabouts when waiting motionless for its prey. The move was a wise one, and soon a victim comes within reach of the fastest mouth in the sea. The black and white stripes of the eel catfish warn predators that any bite will be repaid with a wound from a sharp, venomous spike hidden in front of the dorsal and pectoral fins. The frogfish has already learned this painful lesson. And despite being surrounded by a shoal of fish, the voracious predator resists temptation. Concealment amongst orange sponges on the sea floor offers protection to this pair of frogfish. Yet the feeding ground is only a short walk away. With a mouth that opens to 12 times its normal size and a bite that takes only 6 milliseconds to engulf its prey, the frogfish snatches its victim. little escapes the strike zone. In this strange world, where what appears to be a harmless sponge hides a lightning-quick mouth, nothing is as it seems.